In this video, I will show you the 3 best chair exercises to quickly relieve lumbar spinal stenosis pain. Keep watching. Lumbar spinal stenosis is a painful and challenging condition that can lead to chronic low back pain that just won't go away, leg pain that feels like sciatica with numbness and tingling in the legs, limited movement and stiffness, making even simple tasks more difficult. Hi there, I'm Dr. John Zielonka, a neurofunctional chiropractor in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and I'm the past director of rehabilitation at the Ottawa Sports Science Center. If you have lumbar stenosis causing ongoing lower back and leg pain, this video could be life-changing for you. Watch until the end so you don't miss the relief these simple chair exercises can provide. I'm going to show you 3 simple chair exercises that focus on flexion movement, the key to relieving lumbar stenosis pain. These easy-to-do exercises can be done at home or at work, targeting the lower back to relieve pain fast and improve mobility. Since these exercises are done while sitting, they're easy for most people with lumbar stenosis to do, especially if standing for long periods causes severe back or leg pain. You may start feeling relief from lower back pain, from stiffness, and from leg discomfort within minutes of doing these seated exercises. So let's dive in. All right, so we're going to be doing seated exercises for spinal stenosis. One of the key parts of doing these in a sitting position is a lot of people with severe spinal stenosis can't stand for any long period of time, or if they were to lay down flat on their back, they have a tough time getting up as well. So that's the beauty of seated exercises. Now what we're going to do, the first one is what we call a seated knee to chest stretch. So Tanya's going to start doing these and she's going to count them out, and I'd like you to follow along. So one of the key things that we're doing in a knee to stretch, so we're going to start, okay, we're going to do, what we're trying to do with stenosis is we're trying to induce what we call flexion. So the reason for that is when you have spinal stenosis, when we flex, when we come forward like this, okay, what we're doing is we're taking pressure off that area. We're taking pressure off the spinal cord. We're opening things up. Now you notice when Tanya is doing these, okay, is they're nice and slow. And when we talk about flexion, people just think about bending forward. Well, flexion is anything that decreases the angle between the legs and the trunk of the body. So bringing the leg up to the chest is also flexion. So nice and slow. We're going to remember to breathe when we do these as well. You want to engage your core while you're doing all these. And what you should be feeling is you're going to open that area. That should give you some pain relief, immediate pain relief in there. You're going to feel a stretch in the back of the leg as well. But we're going to take them nice and slow. So again, for the exercises that we're doing today, I want you to follow along. If you're sitting there, do the knee to chest stretch with Tanya, follow along. She's doing 10 on each side. And again, the whole goal is to open up that area by inducing flexion. That's going to take some of the pressure off the stenosis. Remember, stenosis means narrowing. So if we're talking the spinal cord, you've actually narrowed the actual cord, basically the column, the spinal column where the cord runs through, or what we call foraminal stenosis. So the foramen is the area of the passage where the nerve actually exits as well. But in both cases, if we flex, we're actually opening up that area, taking some of that pressure off. So we want 10 on each side, nice and slow. Remember to breathe while we're doing all of this. And again, being in a seated position avoids the hassle of standing, which a lot of people with spinal stenosis can't do or find it difficult to do. And that only makes sense. When we're in a standing position, we are no longer flexing at all. All right, we're back for exercise number 2. So exercise number 2 is what we call a seated forward bend. So again, I'd like you to follow along with Tanya. She's going to go through 10 repetitions of this. We take them nice and slow. We remember to breathe while we're doing all of this. And again, the goal of this particular exercise for people with spinal stenosis is to open up that area to give them some pain relief. So Tanya's going to start. So again, remember with spinal stenosis, stenosis means narrowing. It's the same thing when we talk about stenosis of the blood vessels to the heart and so forth, is you're narrowing those blood vessels. In this case, you're actually narrowing the spinal cord itself if we're talking about spinal stenosis, or when we're talking about foraminal stenosis, you're actually narrowing the opening where that nerve comes out. So in all cases of spinal stenosis, what we want to do is we want to get into flexion. So remember, you've got the spine here, and flexion is any movement that's going to bring you this way, because what that does is it then opens up the area here. It takes some of the pressure off that spinal cord, and that's what we want to do. This often can give you some immediate relief in there, but you want to take it nice and slow. You want to hold each of the movements when you do that. And again, you should be following along with Tanya as you do these. She's got a nice pace. We're actually opening up some flexion back in there. Go to the point where you feel a nice stretch, where you feel some relief in there. Remember to breathe while you're doing this. Again, we are doing this seated because if you suffer with spinal stenosis, you will find that it is difficult to stand for long periods of time. It's difficult to walk. You will find that doing them lying down on the floor is not a great thing either, because then getting back up from that position can actually be tough. So by going to seated exercises for spinal stenosis, it's a great way to actually offer you some immediate relief in that area. It's something that you can do pretty much any time of the day, even if you're sitting at your desk working. Take the 60-second break or the 2-minute break to do some of these things, and you'll find that it will take some of that pressure off that area. So again, we want to take them nice and slow. We want to make sure we're breathing while we're going through all of these, taking nice deep breaths. You can see how slow and methodical Tanya's being. You can also see that when she does this, she's actually following down along the legs for support and for balance, and make sure that she's straight as well. Okay? These are all things that you can do in the comfort of your own home to give you some immediate relief for people suffering with spinal stenosis. That's why you'll see people in the grocery stores, you'll know who the people with the spinal stenosis are, is because they will be the ones who tend to lean forward on their shopping cart, because A, it gives them support, but B, it also opens up that area back there as well. So again, just nice, slow, rhythmic movements through there. When you get to the bottom, you can hold for a second or two to actually feel that area ease up. Take it nice and slow. All right, exercise number 3 is what we call the seated cat-cow stretch for people suffering with spinal stenosis. So remember, spinal stenosis means narrowing. So what's happened with people with spinal stenosis is they've narrowed the area where the spinal cord actually goes through. And when you do that, you're far more likely to put pressure on that spinal cord. If you have what we call foraminal stenosis, well, the foramen is the opening where the nerve exits. So again, now you've narrowed the area where that nerve comes out. But in both cases, neither of those are good. So you want to get into movements of flexion for most cases of spinal stenosis, because what flexion does is the act of bending forward or coming forward. That takes pressure off that area. So that's what we're aiming for. Now, this particular exercise is a little bit different in the cat-cow. So Tanya's going to start the cat-cow, and I'd like you to follow along doing these at home. So you'll see, first you're getting into the position, okay, that you would actually see a cat do. You watch a cat, they're actually going to flex forward like that. That's taking pressure off the area. That's going to offer some immediate relief. What's a little different with the cat-cow is then we're going to mimic sort of that cow movement. Think of the belly coming forward. And this could actually put you into a little bit of extension. And then you would say, well, why are we doing extension if you've just been talking about flexion? The reason for this is we do want to get some movement back in the area, not just flexion, but a little bit of extension. So this is meant to increase some movement in the area, to get some mobility in there. But please be careful when you do the cow movement of that, when you go back into the extension. If you find that causes too much discomfort, then you back off that right away. That's true of any stretch. It's one of the difficulties trying to do exercises online, is all exercises should be specific to you. So we can come online and give you exercises that should be safe for most of you. But if you ever find that you're causing any pain when you're doing these, and especially if you cause what we call hurt pain, harm pain. So hurt pain is going to be, hey, I did a good workout, I know I'm going to recover. Harm pain is going to be more where you're causing a sharp pain, or you're recreating any numbness or tingling or pins and needles, or you instinctively feel like you're doing some damage to the area in there. That's when you back off on that right away. But again, remember, with any of these exercises, we want to breathe throughout the whole movement. We're doing 10 repetitions here. The reason we do stenosis exercises seated is it's much easier for people, especially with severe stenosis, because one of the problems is when you have severe spinal stenosis, it's tough to stand for any long period of time. If we do them lying down, it's tough for some of these people to get back up. So by staying in a seated position like this, you'll find we eliminate all of those issues, and we can focus just on what we're trying to accomplish here as well. So again, in the forward movement, that's the flexion movement. We're taking pressure off the spine. When we come in now into the backward movement, now we're doing that. That's not That's meant to increase some movement in both directions of this part of the spine, but again, be very careful on the backward movement. And then last but not least, just to complicate things, sometimes people have, well, not sometimes, almost always people have more than one condition. So the problem is if you actually have stenosis and also a disc herniation, whereas the flexion is fantastic for spinal stenosis cases, it is not good for people with disc herniations or bulges. Think of that as like the jelly donut. So if we push on one side, we're going to squeeze the disc out the backside. That's why when you have serious issues, it's important that you come in and see a good health professional who understands all of this. But again, nice, slow, rhythmic movements, 10 repetitions you can do while you're seated, and we can often get some immediate pain relief. Now I want to hear from you. Which exercise did you find most relieving? Was it the seated forward bend? Was it the seated cat-cow? Please leave a comment below and let me know. Be sure to subscribe if you want more tips and strategies on how to treat and relieve debilitating back and neck pain without drugs and without surgery. Also, please like and share the video because it helps support my channel, which in turn helps more people. Now, if you want to see how to treat lumbar stenosis with a revolutionary non-surgical method that has an over 90% success rate in my clinic, please watch this video next.